Hi friends! Are you ready to read more of our book? Okay, so one of our friends who's been watching our videos told me that I kept pausing in some of our old videos, so I'm trying something new today. So hopefully I won't pause and freeze during this video. If it happens, have one of the adults in your house send me an email to let me know so I can try something different. So let's dive in. We are on chapter 6. Dory Phantasmagoria. We only have 7 chapters in this book, so we're getting very close to being done. But as good readers, we always review the chapter we just read. So, yesterday we read chapter 5, Captain Puff. Now in this chapter, Dory got to go to Rosabel's house. Now remember, Dory was pretty excited because she thought it was going to be a castle. But we learned that Rosabel's pretty normal, and she lives in a pretty normal house just like Dory does. Now, while she was at Rosabel's house, Rosabel's brother, Ridley, kept coming in and bothering them. Ridley really wanted Dory to put on the Batman costume. And then Ridley took Dory's clothes and put them on. But this is where we got Captain Puff. Captain Puff, who wears the Batman costume. Now, in this chapter, we also learned that Rosabel can be pretty angry. You see here, Ridley got Dory's clothes pretty wet. It just made Rosabel really, really angry. So Dory decided to help, or Captain Puff. And that was the end of our chapter. It ended with Dory going home with her mom. So let's find out what happens in our next chapter. Chapter 6 is called Little Robber. Okay, here we go. The first thing Violet says to me when she hears that I lost my clothes is, "Let me guess, Mrs. Gobblecracker took them." "Yep," I say. "She traded them for a frog." I think that's what happened. Then Luke and Violet started to tease me about my costume. They say I have a wedgie. They laugh so hard they can't get up from the floor. I don't know what a wedgie is, but I can tell it has something to do with my bottom. This makes me stop feeling like a superhero. I have to sit down so that Luke and Violet can't see my bottom. I won't get up from the dinner table until I'm sure it's safe. Aren't you done? Mom said you could be excused. Rascal, can you just let me help you take off the costume? Or are you going to make a super big deal out of it? Calls my mom from the living room. I don't like either choice, so I don't answer. Instead, I wait and wait and wait. From the living room, my mom says, "We really should read together tonight. Remember, 20 minutes. That's the last thing she says before she closes her eyes. When I'm sure she's asleep and the house is quiet, I sneak upstairs to my room. Presenting Captain Puff, I say, making a grand entrance I had been planning. Then I fly on top of my dresser. Wow, says Mary. How did you become Captain Puff? Because I had the best playdate ever, I say. I had a playdate too, said Mary. How, I ask. Gigi came over, she said. Gigi? I jumped down from the dresser. Did you say Gigi? She rang the doorbell, says Mary. And you let her in? She said she wanted to play. What did you play? I ask. Well, first, she just wanted to make coffee, so we did that. Yeah, and then she drank a lot of coffee. A lot. Okay. She got really hyper. What does that mean exactly? I ask. Well, her eyes kind of bugged out, and she started talking really fast and running around and touching everything. She banged into a lot of things, and then she started doing cartwheels, although she's horrible at them. She couldn't even get her legs up, and then she banged on the piano and sang songs I've never heard of. I think she made them up. They were pretty weird. All night long, I looked for my socks. Blood and bones, socks and meat. We think we're dumb, but we're really smart. Do you remember that slippery tomato? Chicken slop? Neither do I. And then she found a huge amount of post-its in the kitchen drawer, and she ran around and stuck them all over the house in every room, on the windows, the walls, the furniture, on the phone, everywhere. And then she asked for a snack, but she was really picky about everything I offered her. She said she wanted soup, and I said, "We don't have any soup right now." And then she threw a big fit, but in the middle of her fit, she got distracted by some crumbs on the kitchen floor, and she started playing with them and talking to them in a very high-pitched baby voice. And then all of a sudden, she ran upstairs to go to the bathroom. She was gone so long, I thought she fell in the toilet, but when I came upstairs to look for her, she was gone. Your bedroom window was open. She must have climbed down the side of the house. I guess that's how she likes to leave. "Where are the post-its?" I ask. "I cleaned them up," Mary says, smiling proudly. "Wow, Mrs. Gobblecracker is a really bonkers kid. What do you think?" I ask. "It was so fun. I loved it," says Mary. "I loved it. Can she come back tomorrow? Pretty please with a chair on top?" "It's Cherry," I say. I already invited her," says Mary. And then I remember Goblin. I jump up and open the closet. The closet is empty. Uh-oh. "Where's Goblin?" I ask Mary. "I didn't take him out," she says. "I promise." "Then where'd he go?" "I have no idea," says Mary. "It was Gigi," I say. "That sheep stealer. I bet she snuck him out the window. I was right. Never trust a gobblecracker." The next morning at school I tell Rosabelle and George the news. Gigi came to my house, went in my room, and stole my pet sheep. "That little thief," says Rosabelle. "She's going to put pants on him," says George. "Pants?" says Rosabelle. "Who cares about pants? She should be making lamb stew out of him." "What do?" I ask. "This is your chance, rascal," says Rosabelle. "You have to use your superpowers to battle Gigi and save your sheep." She says, "Oh, if only you still had the Captain Puff costume, that would be perfect." "Look," I say, and unbutton my shirt so they can see. My mom fell asleep and forgot about it. Rosabelle gasps, "You're a genius." "That looks really uncomfortable," says George. That afternoon, George can't wait to battle Gigi. He keeps raising his hands and asking if it's quiet reading time yet, and the teacher keeps looking over the pencil sharpener nervously. When it's finally reading time, George opens his book and says, "Captain Puff, you fly over the barn and grab the sheep. I'll do my karate moves on Gigi. Hi-ya!" Just as I reach Goblin, I hear a voice. "Dory, can you read out loud to me for a few minutes?" asks my teacher. Uh-oh. "Dory, are you there?" I feel a hand on my shoulder. "I'd love to hear you read," says the teacher, who pulls up a chair next to me. "Okay," I say. When I read, the words get all crooked up. The words don't make any sense. It's the opposite of a story. As I'm reading, I get hotter and hotter and hotter, and my Captain Puff costume feels tighter and tighter underneath my clothes. The teacher writes a whole page in her notebook. Then she pats me on the back and says, "Keep practicing. You'll get there, honey." When the teacher's gone, I'm quiet. I don't want to play anymore. "You play without me," I tell George. "But what are you going to do?" George asks. "Read?" "Yes," I say in a voice so quiet he can't even hear me. That night, after dinner, and just before bed, I look out the window and see Gigi standing on the stoop. I take off my nightgown. I'm still Captain Puff underneath. "Hi, is Mary home?" asks Gigi when I open the door. "You little robber, you stole my sheep," I say. "I know. It was so fun. I was so sneaky. Nobody saw me." With my super strength, I pick up Gigi. "Give me back my sheep, or I'll fly you straight out of the universe and leave you there." "That sounds kind of fun," she says. So with my superpower speed, off we go. Yippee! Woo wee! "Last chance," I tell her. "Goblin?" Goblin walks right past us. Where is he going? Asked Gigi. Look, I whisper. Is that his family? All those white sheep? It can't be, says Gigi. But when we see how much they love him, we know it is. This is where he belongs. Ah, phooey, says Gigi, and kicks some space dust. Goodbye. Can I have a ride back? Asked Gigi. I could just leave her here, but surrounded by the huge blackness of the universe, I notice how little she is. Maybe even smaller than me. Yeah, fine, I grumble. That was super weird, says Gigi, sitting on my stoop. Yeah, Goblin was really lost, huh? He's from another planet, says Gigi. I'll miss him, I say. I sit down next to her. He was the greatest sheep I ever stole, says Gigi. The sky is dark. The stars are out. I take off my mask. What do you want to be when you grow up? I asked Gigi. The biggest robber ever. I can't wait to grow up. I bet my nose will get even longer. I want to live in a cave and wear a long black. Shh. Be quiet for a second, I say. From the stoop, I can hear my parents' voices through the window in the living room. They're talking about me. Rascal's teacher called today. She says Rascal is going to need extra help with reading, I hear my mom say. I'm not surprised, says my dad, laughing. It's because she never stops talking. How can a person learn to read when they are never quiet for a single second? If she's not talking to us, she's talking to herself. Seriously, says my mom, I'm concerned. Luke and Violet were reading perfectly by the time they were her age. What are we going to do with her? I look at Gigi. I don't want to cry in front of her, but I can't help it. I gotta go, says Gigi. Tell Mary we can play another day. All night long, I look for my socks. Upstairs in my room, after a lot of sweat and a couple of rips, I wiggle out of my costume. I put on my nightgown. Without waiting for anyone to tuck me in, I crawl into my bed and fall asleep. The next morning, I wake up extra early. One by one, I take my favorite books off the bookshelf. All alone in the quiet of my room, I lie on the floor with my books. As the morning light slowly shines brighter and brighter through my window, I turn the pages and look carefully at the pictures. I look at the words carefully, too. And some of the words I can read. That is the end of chapter 6. Chapter 7 is called Hide and Seek Tag. Here is your sneak peek, the last chapter of our book. I don't know if I should show you this page. Just kidding. Okay, that's all I'm going to show you. I don't want to give away the end of our book. Okay, that is the end of chapter 6. We will read chapter 7 tomorrow. Until we read again, I want you to think about a time that you have felt like Dory did, or maybe you were so sad because something happened to you, just like Dory was so sad that she couldn't read. So I want you to think about a time in your life that happened to you, and we will read again tomorrow. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Bye.